Good day. So, welcome sa part 2 natin ng lesson natin for fuels. So, feel free na lang na i-rewatch nyo yung part 1 ng fuels para hindi kayo masyadong malos pagdating dito sa part 2 ng lesson natin. So, specifically, yung first video natin for fuels is for the lecture part. And then this time naman, specifically the calorimetry is for the laboratory part ng ating lesson. So, start na tayo. So, the main topic is about calorimetry. So, define muna natin what is calorimetry. So, calorimetry is the measurement of heat changes within a chemical reaction or other physical processes. It is associated with determining the changes in energy of a system by measuring the heat exchange with the surrounding. So, yung calorimetry lang naman, sinasabi lang naman dito is, ito lang naman yung pagsukat natin sa exchanges ng heat na meron tayo between the system and then the surroundings. So kapag sinabi nating system is ito yung isang buo na sinusukat natin. And then yung surroundings ay nasa paligid niya. So para mas madali siyang maintindihan, for example, you are inside your house. So your house is your system. And then yung nasa paligid ng house nyo, yun yung tinatawag natin na surroundings. So for example, nagkakaroon ng heat exchanges. For example, mas mainit yung nasa surroundings or yung nasa labas. And then pumapasok siya sa may loob ng bahay nyo. So, ibig sabihin, the heat is being absorbed by your system. And then if ever naman, for example, yung bahay nyo yung mainit, and then yung nasa surrounding yung nasa labas, yung surroundings yung mas malamig, is ang nangyayari naman doon is nagkakaroon tayo ng release of energy. So, meron tayong ginagamit na device to measure the heat released or absorbed, no? So, ang tawag doon ay calorimeter. So, a calorimeter is a device used to measure the heat released or absorbed by a physical or chemical process. So, this apparatus is the surroundings that changes the temperature when heat is transferred to or from the system. So, later on, meron tayong types of calorimeter. So, meron tayong tinatawag na bomb calorimeter and then coffee cup calorimeter. So, we have properties used to measure heat changes. First is the heat capacity or C. So, the heat capacity of a substance is the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of a given quantity of the substance 1 degree Celsius. So, ang units natin for heat capacity is joule per degree Celsius. So, work over temperature. So, yun lang naman yung special dito sa heat capacity. Next is the specific heat. So, ano na may kaibahan ni specific heat with the heat capacity. So, kung makikita nyo sa units niya, ginagamit natin dito is joule per gram multiply by the temperature or joule per gram degrees Celsius. So, dito naman, involved na yung mass na meron yung substance natin na minimeasure. So, the specific heat of a substance is the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 gram of the substance by 1 degree Celsius. So, ito yung tinatawag natin na specific heat equation. So, the relationship between the specific heat and heat capacity of a substance is given by the following formula, which is the Q is equals to mc delta T. Or, para mas mabilis yung makabisado, QM cat. No? So, Q stand for heat energy, which is expressed in joules, and then mass, expressed in grams, and then C for specific heat, and then yung specific heat natin, again, ang unit niya ay joule per gram degree Celsius. And then the delta sign is the change in temperature, which is the final temperature minus the initial temperature. So eto, kailangan nyo kabisaduhin to, yung specific heat of some substances. So itong mga to, kailangan nyo siyang kabisaduhin. Kasi if ever na magkakaroon tayo ng quiz, may times na hindi given si heat capacity or si specific heat capacity. Hindi siya given. So kayo yung kailangang magbigay. So kakabisaduhin nyo lang yan. So ang pinakakailangan nyo kabisaduhin dyan ay yung sa may part ng water. So water in liquid form, water in solid form, and then water in vapor form or steam, and then yung water in solid form is ice. So ito yung mga specific heat capacities nila. So for water, 4.8184 joule per gram degree Celsius. And then for ice is 2.010 joule per gram degree Celsius. And then for steam is 1.996 joule per gram degree Celsius. And then the rest then, ayan, so kailangan nyo rin siyang kabisaduhin for other substances. So for other substances na given dito is majority of them are metals such as aluminum, chromium, lead, magnesium, mercury, tin, and zinc. So kailangan nyo siyang kabisaduhin. Again, yun. So you need to memorize those. So mag-sample problem tayo. So in this problem, a 500 gram cube of lead is heated from 25 degrees Celsius to 75 degrees Celsius. How much energy was required to heat the lead? So the specific heat of lead is 0.129 joule per gram degrees Celsius. So ito, ang nawawala rito is the energy or yung Q. Again, our formula is, so i-paste lang muna natin to dito. Again, our formula is Q is equals to M C delta T. Diba? Or QM cut. So, ang mga given natin ay yung mass ng cube, which is 500 gram, and then the change in temperature from 25 degrees Celsius to 75 degrees Celsius. And then, of course, the specific heat ng lead. So, ang hinahanap natin is the energy. Energy ang hinahanap, meaning, ang missing ay yung Q. So, gagawin lang natin dyan is, direct substitution. So, 500 grams, so 500 grams, so, multiply by C, which is 0.129 joule per gram degrees Celsius, and then multiply by the delta T. Again, the delta T is the difference between the final temperature and then the initial temperature. So, yung final temperature natin is the 75 degrees Celsius, and then yung 25 degrees Celsius yung ating initial temp. So, 75 degrees Celsius minus 25 degrees Celsius. So, direct nyo lang yan sa calculator. So, pag dinirect natin yan sa calculator, again, magka-cancel out tayo ng units since nasa baba yung gram. So, cancel out natin yung grams and then yung degree Celsius. So, itong degree Celsius na to, since ang operation natin is subtraction lang, so mag-iisa lang sila. So, cancel out natin to pareho and then cancel out natin yung degree Celsius dito sa may baba. So, matitira ay joule. Sakto kasi ang energy ay expressed in joule. So, 500 times 0.129 and then multiply by 75 minus 25, pwede nyo erekta sa calcu. So, ang magiging sagot natin is 3,225 joules. So, that's the final answer. So, ganun lang siya kadali i-compute. If ever naman yung iba yung hinahanap, try to derive the formula. So, balik tayo doon sa PowerPoint presentation natin. So, for example number 2, so ito hindi ko na to solve. So, kayo na ang bahalang mag-solve dito, pero i-guide ko kayo on how to solve this one. So, dito, again, basahin natin mabuti yung question. So, how much heat in kilojoule naman? So, kailangan express in kilojoule ha, is absorbed by liquid water that weighs 550 grams as it is heated from 25 degrees Celsius to 95 degrees Celsius. So, again, ang mga given natin ay yung M. So, again, gamitin natin ulit yung formula which is the Q is equals to MC delta T or M cat or QM cat. No? So, given natin is yung mass. So, ang mass natin ay 550 grams and then given na yung ating change in temperature. Again, final minus initial. So, 95 minus 25. And then, ayun. So, yung C ang problema natin, hindi siya given dito, di ba? So, sabi ko nga nung nakaraan, kailangan nyo siyang kabisaduhin. So, ang C natin or ang specific heat natin for liquid water is 4.184 joule per gram degree Celsius. So, yun lang yun. And then, kapag nakuha nyo na yung sagot, so magka-cancel out kayo ng units, cancel yung grams, cancel yung degree Celsius, matitira si joule. Since ang hinahanap natin is in kilojoule, i-convert natin yung joule into kilojoule, di ba? So meron tayong 1,000 joule into kilojoule. So i-multiply nyo lang yung, hindi, i-divide nyo lang yung answer nyo, yung makukuha nyo answer na joule into 1,000 para ma-convert natin into kilojoules. So, ganun lang. And if ever na may question kayo about dito sa may sample problem na to, feel free to message me. No? Mas maganda kung sa GC kayo mag-ask para aware din yung mga kaklase nyo. And then, another example, so ito, reserve na lang nyo na lang din to for your practice. No? Practice lang siya, for practice lang tong pangalawa and then itong pangatlo. So sa may pangatlo, a 2.8 gram sample of a pure metal requires 10 joule of energy to change its temperature by 15 degrees Celsius. So dito naman, ang hinahanap natin is yung kanyang specific heat. No? So yung specific heat naman yung hinahanap natin or yung C. Again, paano na yung formula natin? Q is equals to mc delta T. So kung si C ang hinahanap, kailangan natin siyang i-derive. No? So, i-guide ko kayo kung paano yung gagawin dito. So, try natin. So, again, yung formula natin is Q is equals to M C delta T, di ba? So, si C yung hinahanap. So, ibig sabihin, divide both side lang natin yan by M delta T. Di ba? And then, ayun, kuha na natin yung formula natin for C. So, C is equals to Q over M delta T. So, again, balik tayo sa may problem. So, dito, ang given na is change na ng temperature. So, meaning, si 15 degrees Celsius lang yun agad. Diba? Yun na yung mismong change. Baka mamaya naghahanap kayo, magtataka kayo, sir, isa lang po yung given na temperature. That's okay kasi sinabi naman na dito sa may problem na to change its temperature by 15 degrees Celsius. So meaning, that's the temperature na. Yan yung delta T mismo. Hindi mo na siya kailangan i-compute. So, dito naman, ang magiging unit natin, syempre, yung unit natin for specific heat, which is C, or joule per gram degrees Celsius. So, ganun lang. So, dito naman tayo sa mga types of calorimeter. So, last time nabanggit ko yung types of calorimeter. Meron tayong tinatawag na coffee cup and then the bomb calorimeter. So, for coffee cup calorimeter, so dito, constant yung pressure na meron tayo. So, it is often used to measure the heat transferred or yung QP kasi nga at constant P or pressure in process open to the atmosphere. So, third, it is used to find the specific heat capacity of a solid that does not react with or dissolve. So, ginagamit na natin yung coffee cup calorimeter kapag yung mga solid natin ay hindi nagre-react with the water or yung sa may surroundings niya. So, ito lang naman yung parts or ito yung diagram ng coffee cup calorimeter natin, no? So, hindi ito yung literal na coffee cup, ha? Hindi ito yung literal na yung kape na may yung coffee cup na styro, yung ganon, yung gawa sa styro na cup. Hindi siya ganon. Tinatawag lang siya na coffee cup calorimeter kasi it looks like a coffee cup. Pero literally, hindi siya ganon. So, eto, bahal talaga to. Gawa yan sa metal. So, ito yung itsura niya. So, meron siyang stirrer and then meron siyang thermometer. So, yung thermometer, para ma-absorb natin syempre yung temperature inside the cup. No? So, yung ito, insulated yung loob na yan. So, ibig sabihin, no transfer of heat. No? So, walang nagta-transfer ng heat. Walang lumalabas at walang pumapasok na heat. So, yung surroundings niya ay yung water sa loob and then yung sample mo, yung mismong system. So, ganun siya. Tapos yung stirrer, ayan, pag iniikot-ikot mo siya, yan, magkakaroon na ng change in energy or exchange in energy. So, the solid system is weighed. Ayan. Siyempre, inaano natin siya, wini-weigh natin yung katulad nito. For example, ayan, yung bloke na yan, yan yung system natin. Heated to some known temperature and added to a sample of water or yung surroundings natin. Considered as the surroundings yung water and then system yung solid. Of a known temperature and mass in the calorimeter. With steering, the final water temperature, which is also the final temperature of the solid is measured. Kapag naabot na natin the final temp of the water and then the solid or yung system natin and then yung surroundings, pwede na nating i-compute yung Q. No, pwede na natin i-compute si Q. So the heat loss by the system is equals to the magnitude but opposite sign to heat gained by the surroundings. Bakit nagkaganito? Bakit naging negative Q ng solid is equals to Q ng H2O? Kung papansinin natin ulit tong diagram, anong nangyayari kasi si sample mismo nagre-release siya ng heat. So, ibig sabihin, kapag nagre-release ka ng heat, anong mangyayari sa Q mo or yung heat mo? Hindi ba mababawasan? That's why it became negative. And then the water became positive kasi sa kanya napupunta yung heat from the system. Siyempre, kapag nag-release ka ng heat from the system, i-accept ni surroundings yon. Kaya nagkaganito. Naging negative Q ng solid is equals to Q ng water. So, eto na yung bagong formula natin kapag ginamit natin si coffee cup calorimeter. Again, the Q is equals to MC delta T. Diba? So, ang mangyayari dyan is negative Q ng MC delta T ng solid and is equals to Q ng MC delta T ng water. So, yan. Para mas maintindihan natin, mag-example tayo. Example natin to. So, dito sa example problem natin, so, wait lang. Yan, sa example problem natin, so dito, para hindi rin kayo malito, isulat nyo ng isa-isa yung mga given natin. Pero basahin muna natin siya mabuti. So, a 26.47 gram ng lead sample at 89.98 degrees Celsius is placed at a constant pressure calorimeter. Meaning sa coffee cup calorimeter natin siya inilagay. So, of a negligible heat capacity containing 100 grams of water, so the temperature of the water rose from 22.5 degrees Celsius to 23.17 degrees Celsius. What is the specific heat of the lead pellet? So, ang nawawala ay si C. Again, isulat muna natin isa-isa yung mga given para hindi tayo malito. So, given na yung mass ni lead, di ba? So, kung given na yung mass ni lead, so, yung M ng solid to. So, ilalagay ko lang M ng solid. M ng solid is equals to 26.47 grams. And then, given na rin si temperature ng solid. So, ano ba yung temperature ng solid natin? So, yung temperature na to, ito yung magiging initial temp mo. Kasi yun yung initial temperature na meron si lead metal. So, T initial ng solid is equals to 89.98 degrees Celsius. And then, ayan. So, yun lang muna. And then, yung 100 degrees Celsius naman ng water. Ay, sorry. Hindi masyadong makita yung yellow, orange gamitin. 100 grams of water naman is yung next. So, mass ng H2O naman yung given. So, mass ng H2O is equals to 100 grams. Hindi ko na isusulat yung point. So, 100 grams. And then, the temperature of water rose from 22.50 degrees Celsius to 23.17 degrees Celsius. So, ibig sabihin, the initial temperature will be 22.5 degrees Celsius and then the final temp will be 23.17 degrees Celsius. So, ibig sabihin, both of them, hindi kayo mabuti, both of them is 23.17 degrees Celsius, di ba? Kasi ang goal natin, kapag nakuha na natin yung final temp, yun din yung temperature ni lead. So, ibig sabihin, the T for the final ng lead, yung TF for the solid, is equals to 23.17 degrees Celsius din. Kasi yan na yung final temp nilang dalawa kasi magkahalo na nga sila, di ba? So, yung temperature naman natin dito na initial is 22.5 or 22.50 degrees Celsius. So, hindi ko na rin susulat yung CO. And then, syempre, the C or yung specific heat ng water, which is, ano na nga yung specific heat? So, dapat kabisado niya, no? So, which is 4.184 yan, joule per gram degrees Celsius. So, again, ang nawawala is the C ng solid. So, siya yung hahanapin natin. Again, paano na nga yung formula natin? And wait lang, nawala yung mouse. Ayan. Again, paano na nga yung formula natin? So, ang formula natin is negative Q ng solid. So, sulat ko na lang siya as S is equals to Q ng H2O. Again, pwede natin siyang i-transform kasi Q is equals to MC delta T, di ba? So, negative. So, ita-transform natin siya. Negative M ng solid multiply by C ng solid din. So, yan yung hinahanap natin. And then, delta T. Diba? Is equals to yung Q natin ng H2O. So, M ng H2O multiply by C ng H2O multiply by delta T or yung change in temperature. So, yan. Yan na yun. So, ano yung susunod nating step? So, ilalagay na natin yung mga values natin, di ba? So, negative M ng solid which is 26.7 47 pala. 26.47. Hindi ko na ilalagay yung mga units ha. Kasi same lang naman ang units. If ever lang na magkakaiba sila ng units, kailangan nyo syempre i-convert. 26.47 multiply by C, ito yung namawala natin, di ba? Multiply by delta T. So, yung delta T natin, ano na yung initial temperature, ay yung final temperature natin is 23.17, diba? Minus 89.98 equals, so equals to, equals sa M ng water which is 100 grams multiply by 100 equals to 100 multiply by C which is 4.184 and then multiply natin sa change in temperature ng water. So from 23.17 minus 22.5. Yan. So, yun na yun. So, if ever na marunong na kayo mag-shift solve, you can shift solve the answer. Pero kung gusto niyo ng step by step, papakita ko rin naman yung step by step. So, mangyari dyan, divide both side natin by negative negative 26.47 multiply by delta T which is 23.17 minus 89.9 or 89.98. So, cancel out na natin to, And then, syempre, i-multiply din natin tong side na to. Hindi ko na isusulat. So, the final answer will be C ng solid is equals to, don't forget the units ha. So, input nyo lang yan sa calculator. Ang makukuha nating sagot is 0.158 joule per gram degrees Celsius. So, that's the final answer. So, ganun lang i-compute. No? So, tuloy tayo. So, the final answer is 0.158 joule per gram degrees Celsius. And then, for the second problem, ayun, so hindi ko rin to sasagutan. Try to practice din tong part na to. So dito naman, gaguide ko din kayo. So 5 grams of metal at 154 degrees Celsius is placed in a constant pressure calorimeter of negligible heat capacity containing 111 gram of water. So the water's temperature changed from 21.5 degrees Celsius to 24.6 degrees Celsius. Water has C, or yan, yun, given na yung capacity, is equal to 4.184 joule per gram degree Celsius. What is the specific heat of the metal? So just like the previous question, same lang din sila ng hinahanap. So same ano lang din siya, same process, diba? So just like the previous question, at constant pressure sila, meaning it's a coffee cup calorimeter. So 5 grams ng metal, yung given, at 154 degrees Celsius initial temp, and then 111 gram ng water, and then 21.50 degrees Celsius yung initial temperature ng water. And then for the final temperature for both metal and then the water is 24.6 degrees Celsius. And then the C for water is 4.184 joule per gram degree Celsius. So find the specific heat for the metal. So same lang din naman siya. Next is the bomb calorimeter. So ang kaibahan naman ni bomb calorimeter kung si coffee cup calorimeter is at constant pressure, si bomb calorimeter is at constant volume. So it is designed to measure very precisely the heat released in a combustion reaction. So in this case, meron naman tayong combustion reaction or sinusunog naman natin siya. Yung kanina, hinahalo lang natin siya. This time, susunugin natin siya. So a pre-weighed combustible sample, so your sample should be combustible. In a metal walled chamber, or yung tinatawag natin na bomb, is filled with oxygen gas that end immersed in an insulated water bath fitted with motorized stirrer and thermometer. So kung titingnan nyo, halos same lang din naman sila ng setup. So ang difference lang nila ay yung inside. So a heating coil connected to an electrical source ignites the sample. So yun yung source natin ng pag-ignition. So and the heat evolved raises the temperature of the bomb, water, and other calorimeter parts because we know the mass of the sample and the heat capacity of the entire calorimeter. So we can use the measure delta T to calculate the heat released. So yung pagko-compute dito, same lang din for the coffee cup. So wala naman silang pinagkaiba pagdating sa computation. Ang kinaibahan lang is the setup. So ito yung typical setup ng isang bomb calo or bomb calorimeter. So for your activity to be passed next week, so etong tatlo na to, sasagutan nyo lang siya. So eto, ipapass to and then recorded to. Hindi katulad nung mga practice na pinapractice ko sa inyo kanina. So eto, try to answer this and then ipass nyo. So isulat nyo na lang yan sa yellow paper. So yun lang, ganun na kaiksi yung yung lesson natin for fuels, which is the laboratory part, specifically the calorimeter. So that's all. Good day. So welcome